Hi, ladies. It's Genevieve, and we're on day 6 of the Harness Your Crazy Challenge. I am excited for this one because I can't believe I forgot what today was going to be yesterday, because today is actually one of my favorites. So I want to dive in with you all. This morning, we're on day 6 of Harness Your Crazy Challenge. Long list, short list. So if you're a list maker, you're going to want to hang out with me today. I am so excited. Over the past, I guess it's, well, a little bit over 6 days with the holidays, we've been really trying together to look at our schedules, to harness our crazy, get ourselves back on the productivity place train instead of the crazy town train, with our schedules as work-at-home moms, entrepreneurs, as women who are trying to do it all. And I'm excited to share today with you because this one was really a game changer. Good morning, Jessica, because I have been an avid list person for a very long time. We talked about the importance yesterday of a good sleep schedule, of having good habits in your evenings, and I hope that it has helped you if you're doing your time logs, which I hope you are. Hope you can see where do you need to maybe make that habit change with the type of evening system or evening schedule that you have in place for yourself. We can get very bogged down with like all of the different things we have to do as mothers and wives and as housekeepers, but also really thinking about where are you infusing that time for you? Are you making sure that you're taking care of business wherever you need to take care of business, but also really taking care of you so you can have a good night's sleep. So that was yesterday. And if you haven't signed up for the Harness Your Crazy Challenge, there's a button up above on my page that you can sign up for that. If you missed any of the past lives, you can actually sign up for that. And on the very end, I'm going to send the list of all the lives so that if you wanted to go back and watch them, you could. But today, I can't believe that I forgot what today was going to be, because literally lists are one of my favorite things, and my husband can attest to that. So we're going to talk a little bit about lists, which, Jessica, I know you said you are a list person. If you're tuning in live for the first time, I'm so excited to have you here. If you're watching on the replay, or if you're a regular here on my page, my name is Genevieve Rose. I am a sales and business strategist. I also am a senior Seiko mentor fellow with Seiko Designs. I've been helping create that program for Seiko Designs for the Seiko Fellows program for the past 3 years. And I'm also a journaling coach. And we talked a little bit about journaling yesterday in our evening schedules, but I really think that list making has been a part of my journaling from a very long time. I would say probably since I had a diary back as like a young girl. So why are lists one of my favorite things? Really, why have I been probably doing them forever? I think when I share with you some of the things regarding lists, if you are a list maker, you'll probably see some similarities, because lists are truly have a great resource for you to be able to be more productive, but also a couple other things for your health and your well-being. So if you are doing your time log, this was where I started to see my list making was important, but it also was potentially controlling some of my schedule in ways that I didn't want to see. Good morning, Kim. Kim, I hope you're feeling okay. Everyone, if we could say some prayers for Kim. I know that she's on her road to recovery, but let's say some prayers for Kim as well. So lists can help us a couple things. One, be more accountable. I mean, obviously that's what we're hoping, correct? When we're making lists, we're hoping that we're going to be more accountable. Good morning, Kelly. To get our stuff done, right? If we write it down, we're hoping we're going to check it off, right? It can help us be more motivated. Again, seeing it right there in front of you is going to hopefully encourage you to get those things done. And then it reminds us, and this I feel is the most important piece of the puzzle as an entrepreneur, as a woman that has a business out of her home, a work-at-home mom. It reminds us of our intentions. And if you followed me at all for any length of time, so you don't forget something, I'm going to talk about that, Jessica. your intentions are really in sales. It's like three-fourths of your sale. If your intentions aren't in check, if you're not doing it for the right reasons, people are going to read it. People know you have a product to sell. And if your intentions aren't in the correct state of mind or the correct place, people are going to feel that. So having a list can really remind you to keep your intentions in check. And it's something that I do in my why coaching, as I help business women, entrepreneurs be able to create a guideline that really keeps them in their intentions for why they're doing what they're doing. And if you talk to any of those ladies that have gone through that program with me, I know for myself, that list in general really does keep me on the right path with my business. So definitely your intentions. It can help you with brain power. So this was something earlier I saw that Alicia had commented on the other post where I'm asking, like, what are your reasonings for making lists? She was saying that, she has 7 kids. One, kudos to her. I can't even imagine trying to keep that all organized. And 2, she has pain. So if you take pain medication, and for my fibro, there are some times when I've had to take pain medication, and I know that just the brain power it takes for me to push through that fog or that pain, can sometimes a list is absolutely necessary for me to stay on track there. Also help with anxiety. This is a huge one for me that I actually didn't realize. My husband had always said, like, I wrote lists, and I would say probably part of my list taking was to help with anxiety, and then also improve your focus. And I think that goes along with just being more accountable and motivated. But how do you harness your list taking? Because if you're like me, hi, my name is Genevieve, and I write lists everywhere. I think that it can completely be out of control, your list making, and not be done in a way that is actually doing these things, maybe just kind of curving your feeling of not doing something. So I want to talk about some very productive ways to do your list, some ways that when I started looking at my time log and started seeing, like, oh, I sat and brainstormed this, or I sat and brain dumped this, or I sat and planned this, they were just making lists for me to feel like I was busy, and I wasn't really getting done what I had been putting on those lists, because I would look at those lists and I would feel more overwhelmed. Anyone been there? Look at the list and you're like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I need to maybe not do all that. So we're going to talk about this process that I've learned over the past, I would say it's probably over 2 years, but I've really seen it very vividly in 2 ladies that I met at this conference that I've been to the past 2 years at Blog Her. So it's called Short List, Long List. All right. And so this is basically how it works. So I don't do like a daily brain dump. Like I said yesterday during my evening schedule, I know some coaches like share, like sit in the middle of the night and just dump everything out. And so I used to do that. And as I stared at my list this morning, Kelly, so I used to do that every morning or every night. I would just dump everything out and I would look at that list and I would be like, holy moly, I have so much to do. It's so overwhelming. There's no way I'm getting all of this done today. How am I going to go forward? Well, maybe I'll do 1 or 2 of these things, and then pretty much everything else sat there. And the next morning I would dump even more stuff out and be like, oh my gosh, how did more than those 2 things that I got done got added to that list, right? So I don't do a brain dump every day. I do it on a Sunday evening. I sit and I, watch my Outlander. Hello. And I write out my long list. Okay, so this is my brain dump. This is everything that I'm thinking about doing. Gosh, I'm thinking about Outlander now. See how sidetracked I got? But just write everything out, okay? Everything on a Sunday evening, I'm sitting there watching my TV and I'm just thinking about all the things that I maybe wanted to get done, my notepad from beside my bed of ideas that I thought of when I maybe first woke up or as I was reading or doing my journaling on the evenings. I have that because sometimes I'll write things down there, but I've trained myself not to look at those things to be, unless it's like an urgent thing, it just stays there until that Sunday evening. So I have my long list. on a Sunday evening. Now, ladies, things are going to pop up all the time. So I am not saying that you're not going to have things come up during the week that you're like, oh, I have to get that done. That's completely true. How many times do we have something in the middle of the week that someone's like, hey, I need you to do this, right? So that does get added to it. So then what I do every morning is I make my short list from my long list. I don't go and make another long list of to-dos. I go and look at my long list from Sunday night, and I start marking off, these are the things that are going to happen today from my short list. Maybe 5 at the most things from my long list. And so during the week, I might add a little bit to my long list of things that aren't urgent that need to happen, but I don't go and do like a whole other brain dump during the week. So basically, this is how it works. I write it in my planner, and then I have Post-it notes for each day that I write my shorter list on, so that it's not right there, that I'm not looking at my long list every day like, oh gosh, overwhelming. I'm only looking at those 5 extra things on my short list to go and do. Does this make sense to everybody? This was huge for me because that brain dump thing, or that long list every day, was like, this is crazy train. So I really want to encourage you all to maybe give this a try. Pick a night out of the week where you're like, this is kind of a relaxing, chill thing, because list taking for me is part of my anxiety support. It does help me feel like I'm not as anxious. But when I would see that long list every morning, it would make me more anxious, and I would feel like I needed to make more lists throughout the day to be able to get those things done. Because some of the things on the list, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow in Successful Sprinting, some of those things on that list are actually projects, and they're not necessarily something that can be done by checking off one thing on a list. They would have like a sub list underneath them, right? So that's where this long list, short list comes into play and can be really, really beneficial. So the 2 ladies that I've met over the past 2 years that have really helped me organize and get my list taking under control, I'm going to share them with you. And I'm actually doing a giveaway with one of the ladies' things. Yes, it definitely helps with anxiety. It helps you feel like you are taking charge. Yes, definitely if you have anxiety, I highly encourage productive list making. It can get out of control. Like I've said, I ended up seeing that I was doing a lot more of the list taking and planning than actually taking action. So that's where I want to really encourage all of you to think about the long list, short list. The first woman that I met, she's from My Mammyhood, and she is a blogger. You can follow her. I'll post her link here in the group. Yes, I feel like you knew what I needed to hear this morning. Awesome, Kelly. So she makes, if you're in a social media based business, like you're a blogger, you're a direct seller who does social media, maybe you are an influencer of some sort and you're doing some type of social media, this planner that she's created, I'm actually going to give one of these away to anyone. There's going to be a post coming up, so stay tuned. We'll be watching the page. And so what's really cool is, and there's amazing quotes in this, like some of the quotes in this are just amazing, but this is a social media planner that I've been using, and it's actually where I finally solidified using long list, short lists. So what it basically does, and I'll show you, for your week, is she has an area over here to do your long list, and then she has an area to put your sticky note for your short list for that week. So she does it by the week. I do it by the day, but this is like one of the things that I have found. And for your social media, this would probably work if you're just doing your social media. But I do it kind of separately from that. But this organized calendar for social media is really awesome. She also has places in here. There's a full calendar view. There's also like if you're going to do giveaways or sponsored posts of any kind, place if you're writing a blog. It's just there's a place for expenses and everything in this. So this is a really, really cool social media planner that I have found that me and my VA use to plan my social media, and it's been very helpful. So I'm going to be giving one of these away. The other girl, her name is Paula Rizzo. She has a Facebook page called The List Producer, and she has this book called Listful Thinking, a book about lists, which is pretty awesome. And something that's in here that I have highlighted that I wrote just to kind of remember. She loved Oprah Winfrey when she was a teenager. Who didn't? And so one of the things that she has in here, one of her most powerful things that she feels she's always kept from Oprah, was that Oprah says, you become what you believe. All right. And that was a quote taken from Maya Angelou, but just that quote, you become what you believe, is really what I'm asking all of you to really do these time logs and look like, what do you really believe your lifestyle should look like? We should be brave enough to believe that our schedule and our lifestyle can really be what we believe it should be. So I do believe list taking can do that. This is a really great book. I will share Paula's Facebook page here in the group so you can follow her, but I highly recommend that. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the last day, which is successful sprinting. This one is huge. So basically after I do this long list, short list, that's when my sprinting comes in. And like I said, a lot of coaches will say, hey, being an entrepreneur isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And I have to say, to a certain extent, they're correct. If you're looking at being successful overnight, probably not going to happen, but sprinting can really truly help you to see actionable results in a shorter amount of time, and it's something that I learned during my production days and manufacturing days and have converted it over into my business work at home days, for me to be able to see those projects and see them actually be completed. So I'll be sharing that. So that's tomorrow. My new course, which I'll also share a link for, it's called Design a Brave Lifestyle Schedule, where we're going to take all of these 7 days and get deeper involved in them. And then there's also going to be a lot of very specific things around running a business out of your home and work hours and all of those things, because those are things for myself that really needed to happen. So if you're a work-at-home mom or an entrepreneur, then this is definitely a course for you. I am doing, starting tomorrow, well, actually starting today because the code is available. If you use the code Brave Holiday in all caps, you're going to get 35% off. It takes I think close to $35 off of the course. And you're also going to receive one of these Brave necklaces with the bravery and the boldness piece, because I just firmly believe this is an area, if you're a work-at-home mom or an entrepreneur, you really do need to be brave and bold with being accountable to your schedule and not having it get on the crazy town train as much as you can possibly try, and be in that productivity place train. So I'll post the link for that. Again, the code is Brave Holiday in all caps, and that course does not start until December 25th. It doesn't open, so you don't have to worry about getting involved in it throughout the holidays. It won't open until December 25th, but the code is available starting today. So I hope that this long list, short list has helped you to think about how do you want to set that up for yourself if you're a list maker. It's truly transformed how I do my business. So I hope that it'll be just as helpful for all of you. Thank you all for joining. If you have questions about anything I shared today or about the course or these ladies, feel free to post them in the comments, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for our last day, day 7 of the Harness the Crazy Challenge for all of us. So have a great day.